Everybody wants a side hustle. Business, ETFs, stocks, shares, crypto, investments, AI hacking. It's enough to drive you absolutely crazy. But one thing what these YouTube business gurus and these people you see online don't understand is that not everybody has 4 hours a day to spend researching markets, ideas, trends, fluctuations, etc. Sometimes it's just ordinary people who work a high pressure job, who work shifts or might be in emergency services or may work away a lot of the time, and they just want something simple which they can start to build a bit of side income and maybe potentially use that as a full-time income to then leave a job which they no longer enjoy. It's all about grind culture. You need to work more, you need to work harder. If you don't get it, then that's your fault. It's like, mate, sometimes I'm just too tired. Well, this is not one of those videos, and in this video what we're going to do, I'm going to explain a very simple method which you can start doing today, which could potentially boost your income up to several £1,000s a year, and it will only take you about 20 minutes a day. Seriously. And if you're new here, my name is Jay Dartmoor. I was a police officer for nearly a decade, a lot of it while being a single parent, working shifts and trying to build something in the background so I could eventually leave a job which I felt was no longer serving me. And I've been self-sufficient now for about 14 months, so I like to think I know what I'm talking about on this topic. And if you want to know more, I do have a free resource available specifically for shift workers who are looking to take back their energy, take back their sleep, take back their drive, and also build a business and a side income to eventually leave a job which is no longer serving them. You can click the link in the description or even scan this QR code to then enroll into my 14 ways in 14 days, completely free, cost you nothing, and it's got loads and loads of good stuff. Okay, so that being said, let's get into it. The first thing is the ladder trap. Now, this is super important because you don't want to end up in the same situation you're currently in, just in something else. Now, what do I mean by that? So many people message me who are shift workers or in emergency services who tell me that they once really wanted the job they're currently in, but over time the job isn't what they thought it was, but they feel trapped by either the pension or they feel trapped by the pay packet. And what this means is that they've spent so long in a career already, so maybe they've done 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, and to them it seems silly that they would leave that career because they've already invested years of their life into it. So therefore, rather than leave, they stay in the same job which they're not happy with. And what do? They go for promotion. They go for more specialized roles. This in the short term feels good because it's fresh, it's different, and of course their pay packet is bigger. As a result of their pay packet getting bigger, they buy a new car, they upgrade their house, they upgrade their lifestyle. This all means that you are further in the trap of never being able to leave. It means that the very basic layer of being able to leave your job, such as covering just your monthly expenses, gets much higher. Meaning if you did want to leave in the future, it's actually much harder to do. This is one of the reasons I never went for promotions in my job. I actually knew a girl who wanted to do a side business, but didn't have much direction. So instead she climbed the promotion ladder 2 or 3 times. She utterly detests everything she does every single day. And now the idea of starting a side business is so far removed and so far alien. She's going to spend the next 10, 15, 20 years of her life incredibly unhappy with what she's doing. Don't be that person. Just because you spent 5 years in a job does not mean that you then have to dedicate the next 25 years to that job. So the earlier you can start creating this side business, this side hustle, earning this additional income, the better. So here's the framework of what to do, how to do it, and more importantly, how much time you actually have to invest in getting this off the ground. So the first thing is twofold. You need to find a business that interests you and you get enjoyment out of, but also a business which there is actually a demand and a market for. A business must solve a problem. If you are not solving a problem, you don't have a business. So first, find what you're going to do. Are you going to provide a service, a makeup artist, a personal trainer, or are you going to sell a product, such as a #1 best-selling police memoir, which you can get in the link in the description of this video. Cheeky plug there. Let me think of a business that nobody has a need for. I don't know, shoes for caterpillars, for example. Okay, caterpillars might need shoes, but caterpillars aren't going to be your paying customers. What the fuck am I talking about? I'll tell you what, that would be a lucrative business if you managed to make it work. But you have to find a business or a service that not only you enjoy doing, but that there is a need for, there is a market for, that people are willing to pay you for. You then need to figure out your how. Okay, so what makes you relatable and what makes you unique and different to the other people doing this? This can be the way you present yourself, it can be your voice, it can be your personality. We buy from the person rather than the product itself, if you understand. I have creators which I bought content from, I've enrolled in courses for, and I've joined their memberships. There are other people saying really the same sorts of things, but I like this person's unique delivery. I like how they talk, I like their personality. So that's one way you can do it. You may have a unique perspective on a certain topic as opposed to other people. So for example, if you were a shift worker coach, your how may be you have lived experience in this field, therefore you know about the issues when it comes to nights and it comes to working around family and building a business around those issues and those other commitments. That then gives you a unique perspective on that painful specific problem which your potential customer has to face. And we'll get more into that very shortly. But out of these, the most fundamental question is why? Why should I buy off you? Why are you doing what you're doing? And this is why when you get a generic person who gives generic advice, they never really take off. And especially if they say, well, buy my product and you find out more. It's like, well, no, why? Well, I'm going to do that. You haven't given me any reason to trust you. You haven't given me any reason to like you. It seems like as soon as I pay you, you're just going to take the money and you're not going to do anything. That's why I offer a 30-day money-back guarantee in my Shipproof community, which if you wanted to join is in the description of this video. You need to make sure that people can trust you and that people like you as well. And that comes from your why. Why should I do business with you? Are you just here to take my money? Are you a fraud? Are you a snake oil salesman? You have to gain that trust from people, and the reason why you do something has to resonate with a potential customer. And when you create a who, what, and why, you then can create a mission statement which will then help you when it comes to marketing to your avatar. An example of this could be, I'm an ex-police officer who lost passion for the job and felt trapped and deeply unhappy, and now I support other emergency service workers and shift workers to take control of their life back, their health, their energy, and help them to escape a job that is no longer serving them. Mission statement. There we go. You know exactly who you're speaking to, you know exactly what problem you're going to solve, and you know exactly how and why you're going to solve that specific problem. So what I would do is I would write down your who, what, and why, and then create a mission statement. And this will help you so much when it comes to creating content, marketing, and the actual products and services which you then deliver to other people. The second thing is finding your avatar. Now, when I first heard this, I thought James Cameron avatar. It's like, no. So an avatar is basically a fancy word, fancy marketing word, fancy business word of saying, who's your ideal customer? When I speak to people, I say, who's your ideal customer? They go, well, everybody, you know, everybody wants to work with me. Like, no, that's just no. A young woman who is 19 and who still lives at home has very different problems to a 45-year-old man who has 2 kids and works shifts. What industry do they work in? How much money do they earn? What specific painful problem do they have? Because your business should be specifically targeted at dealing with that specific painful problem. For example, a mechanic isn't going to serve you ice cream. I mean, they might do, might be a bit weird, but you don't go to a mechanic for ice cream, do you? Or for diet advice. You go there because in that moment you think, fuck, my car's broke. That's my specific painful problem. I have a broken car. I need to go to this mechanic and they will fix that problem. Problem, service. There we go. Don't go too niche though. Don't say, I work with 35-year-old lesbians from Lebanon. It's like, right, okay, there's niching down and then there's being a bit much. Don't do that. And the third part of this is, how much time do you have to invest each day to build a business and to get it running? Because the online gurus will say that you need to spend hours a day, you need to sacrifice all your free time, and if you aren't grinding and you aren't hustling, then you don't want it enough, and it's your fault if it fails, and you know everything's your problem. If you want it, you sacrifice sleep. You don't need sleep. No, you'll sleep when no, it's all bullshit, mate. It's all bullshit. It's all social media hype. You know, that shit might work for you when you're 19, 20 years old and still live at home with your parents and you're at university, but it doesn't work for someone who's 35 years old, is a single parent, and works shifts or is away a lot of the time on a fucking oil rig somewhere. Consistency beats intensity every time. So for example, when I am training for an ultra marathon, I won't just go out and run 45 miles in one hit and then not do anything for 6 weeks. Instead, what I'll do is I'll do one day, run 10 miles, the next day, run a few miles, the next day, run a few miles. Over time, you are depositing into a bank account, if you get me, and each deposit over time will compound and build. So what I advise what people do is just work 20 minutes a day. Set that 20 minutes as a non-negotiable. Set a timer on your phone, do a sprint, do anything else during that 20 minutes other than work on your business. Whether that's planning content, whether that's working out your avatar's problems, whether that's maybe product design, your shifts, your job, your family, all of that comes first, because that's what's paying the bills. That's what you need to focus on. Okay, you don't want that to slip. You don't want to start sacrificing the stuff which is currently working and paying the bills for the sake of this new adventure. It's new, it's shiny. I understand you want to spend loads of time on it, and that's great, but spending loads of time on it one day and then not touching it for 6 weeks isn't going to work for you. Even if you can only do it on your days off 3-4 times a week or twice a week or whatever, that is still better than not touching it for months. Little bits over time compound into huge results. But having all these ideas for a business is completely fine, but a complete waste of time if you do not fix your sleep. Sleep is vital when it comes to content creation, plotting and planning a business and an exit plan. And if you don't watch this video right here on how to fix your sleep, you will always be stuck at square one.